Yes, we still have Mr. Nwanyanwu here, who is the National Chairman, Zenith Labour Party. And we also have Mr. Akinbode, who is the National Publicity Secretary. Beg your pardon, he stepped down now as the National Publicity Secretary of the Social Democratic Party. But you were making a point just before we went on break about INEC putting polling booths in front of the House of Party Chairman. Yes. Is that really possible? Because we've been told about how these wards were delineated even before, way before now, even though INEC admits that indeed it is due for another round of delineation, considering the amount of developments that have happened since the last one in the 90s.
Yes, I'm really surprised that in spite of the huge budget provisions for INEC to prosecute elections, you still find out that polling units, polling booths are situated in front of residential areas that has absolute control of the owner of the house, who perhaps is a member of a political party. That is what happens in Ekiti. In the past, I've mentioned FEDECO. They built...
Where should they have put them? Because I mean,
well, they could put them in public and
open. They would be in residential areas,
yeah,
definitely.
They could put them as segregated them in public places. That was what happened in 1979. They'll build them. They are not going to put it in front of my grandfather's house, where I have control. I can put one or two merchants in that house who will carry all the millions in that place. Remember, a party came to my work with 7 million naira during election. I sat down inside the place and was given the money. INEC don't have control over such places. I think it is one element of the electionary process that INEC should take very seriously. Because in virtually everywhere in Ekiti, apart from schools, in the schools you can have one or two, but you have one or two schools in the community. The others are situated in front of residential areas, where people have...
Look, some people might say that argument, I mean, in residential areas, there's very little you can do about that.
Yes.
Because you know how elections are prosecuted.
Yes.
People are asked to stay at home, you're not allowed to drive around, so definitely they must be where people live. Look, if you want the people to be able to come out and vote on that day, it must be, and if they're not public areas, sadly, not a lot of communities have communal areas where, you know, those polling...
My argument is not against situating in public area, but you segregate, you delineate. You can put it 20, 50 meters away. I'm saying what I saw, what happens. Now you have to put it in front of the house, at the entrance of the door to the house. It doesn't show that we are serious about election. It's a serious issue. In those days, the house will lock the place and hijack the ballot board and lock it. What do? The INEC is chased away.
But do you agree with, sorry, just a moment. Do you agree with Mr. Nwanyanwu, who says that, you know, he's monitored the process that INEC has put in place over the years, and they seem to be getting better. And from what he's seeing, INEC does not have any vote, unlike what used to obtain in the past, to give any politician. That the processes are becoming so watertight now that if politicians are looking to INEC to, you know, to help them compromise the process, that is not going to happen.
Now, what I'm trying to say, let me tell you this. I'm a politician. I've been involved in a long process. I have never once approached INEC to help in an election process. But you know, desperation has brought that attitude out. People want to win at all costs. It starts from the primaries. I invested 2 billion naira to win the primaries. Then I'm going further to win the election. I will do anything. I will compromise INEC. I will compromise police. But the INEC itself must stand to be seen as a credible umpire. Must stand to be seen as doing the right thing. Because the politicians, you have said, Nigeria, you cannot isolate the economic situation from politics. People are hungry. You throw the money, they will take it because you want to take their right and they want to get that money. But if INEC is standing and is assuring that all the processes are properly scrutinized, it becomes difficult. And if you begin to identify offenders and punish them, the politicians will behave themselves.
Well, you've spoken to the transactional nature of our politics, you know, the idea of investment and recouping. Now, if that starts, if all of us agree that that starts at the level of the wards within the political parties and goes through the primary processes into the election, is it not hypocrisy at some point now to say that we're going to elect all of our officials through corrupt processes where all of us know that the process is corrupt, it's monetized, and we're going to expect those officials that rose through those corrupt processes to now fight corruption? I mean, is it not a bit silly? I want to get both of your response to that idea.
I think I'm becoming an observer in this discussion.
Let me tell you, let me say this. Let me say
No, after him, you'll respond.
Let me say you. If you compromise and elect a corrupt Nigerian to a leadership position, you can never get anything absolutely good. Absolutely. So there's nothing, it's what you give that you get.
Mr. Nwanyanwu, please respond as well.
Anyway, I do not agree that the police takes instruction from INEC. If the police got a brief,
I'm talking about the election.
I didn't allow me to.
At the point of.
Go ahead.
Allow me to make my. You've spoken for about 15 minutes. I've been observing. So allow me also to use my time.
Go ahead, Mr. Nwanyanwu.
If the police got a brief on how to prosecute a particular election, INEC has no meaning in the process. Take, for example, the madness, I mentioned Rivers before. Take, for example, the madness in Rivers. Was it the police was it INEC that ordered the shooting we saw on television, including your station? In Rivers? Don't forget, INEC officials are civilians like us. You put gun on his head to sign, the youth corper will sign. He will write, but he will talk when he gets out of the place. I think what we have to address now, what are the processes, how would the polling bills be managed? INEC should have a system of proper management of the polling units. Sorry. And that's what he was talking about. I have been in polling units since 1999. In all the general elections. And when I'm making an argument as to what happened on the day of voting, I am not talking from the cattle field. I'm talking from an experience I've gotten since 1999. The process has been improving since 1999. And it has gotten to this point. Yes, the cubicles are very necessary. We must have those cubicles back. So that when you enter there, you thumbprint and drop it and come out. INEC can have a management system whereby a basket will be kept there. You drop your phone because it will amount to the same thing. After voting, you snap and show, see and buy. They will still pay the same money. 3, the security agencies and the party agents should not be near that cubicle. But they can stay at a distance to watch the cubicle to the extent that when you enter, nobody will see you. These processes, I think it was part of what the chairman of INEC was saying. If we have not made provisions for its construction, we must have polling units. We should not vote where anybody should see us voting.
Now, let me just get your response to that, the question about the transactional nature of our politics at the level of the party and how that affects in terms of hypocrisy, in terms of effectiveness of an anti-corruption fight by those officials that go through those processes when they're in office. Can they fight corruption after they've gone through those processes, for example?
Of course, if you come out of a corrupt system, you'll be corrupt when you get to office. You don't give what you don't have. In fact, the direct system of primaries should be the best for every political party. You as a governor cannot buy everybody. What it means is that every card-carrying member of the party will vote. Unlike the representative system, where somebody will write the names of delegates that will go and vote with the total exclusion of the grassroots membership of the party. But in a direct primary system, you don't need delegates list. You don't need any documentation. Just at that time, you file in, you show your card, they authenticate it, you go in and vote. That is the simplest. They say it's more expensive. It is not more expensive, rather it is cheaper. They do not want it because they won't be in a position to impose delegates or to impose candidates on a political party. Members of the party, they will know who should represent them.
It would seem that Mr. Akinbode
It will be less expensive.
agrees with you on that one. You agree with him on direct primaries?
Direct primaries.
Yes. I'm sorry we don't have time,
Yes.
but I just want you to know.
Yeah,
quickly.
with some amendment, because I know Nigerians as the tactics will change.
Yeah.
If you start using direct primary, they will beat direct primaries because there are some other issues you have to address. But of course, it's okay. It shows the sanctity of the election. It prevents impunity. I mean, you present.
Those are the advantages of direct primaries.
Yes.
Just quickly, gentlemen, I would like you to answer. Yes or no? Are you optimistic that 13 days to come now, INEC will be able to successfully, from all that it has said so far about vote buying, will it be able to successfully curb vote buying during the Osun governorship polls? Are you confident?
I have my doubts because they make that promise in Ekiti State. It didn't work. So I have my doubts, and Nigerians should look at it critically.
With the cooperation of the security agencies, there will be an improvement in Osun election.
Okay, that's a fine place to leave it. We have to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on Sunrise Daily. Mr. Dan Nwanyanwu is the national chairman, Zenith Labour Party, and he's been joining us, speaking to us now. Abuja Studios. We also had with us Mr. Yemi Akinbode, who used to be the National Publicity Secretary of the Social Democratic Party. He says he's a stalwart of the Social Democratic Party. The program continues in just a moment. Please stay with us.